All right, guys, welcome back to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast. It's been a minute.
It has.
I've been traveling a little bit, filming some new content over in the USA. So this is episode 281. Don't worry, if you didn't see an episode last week, you didn't miss one because there wasn't one.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I'm sure lots of people have been pressing refresh on their podcast providers every hour since the last time we did a podcast.
Do you think, how upset do you reckon the most upset person was that there was no podcast?
A 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Just kind of like, oh, it's not there. I wonder if anybody got close to shedding a tear.
Very much doubt
I wonder
it.
who was the closest to shedding a tear.
Maybe you.
I did.
Maybe you were the closest to shed a tear.
Well, I recorded one sat here that just is never going to see the light of day. It was brilliant as well. It was a 10 out of 10.
No one was even recording?
No, just me and my thoughts.
You just sat here and spoke to a microphone for an hour. Well, yeah, I was, last week, me and a few members of the team, Ed and Matt, who are just off camera as well, we went over to America for, to be honest, a really, really good week of filming content. And I know that gets used quite a lot. It gets said quite a lot. Oh, yeah, another collab creation week. But genuinely, the mix of characters and the videos we filmed are, I believe, some of the best that have ever been filmed on YouTube. There is a massive money match that gets played. I can't give any spoilers away, but it's on the Brian Bros YouTube channel. I think next week.
Okay.
It's Wesley Bryant, PGA Tour winner.
Player. Serious player.
I love how he plays golf. And
Well.
I wouldn't say it to his face because I tried to give him as much banter as I could. I love how he plays golf.
Okay.
It's fearless.
Aggressive.
Just, it's incredible to watch. Like, he wants to always play the creative shot.
I like that.
Like, he's constantly going for greens. If he's got a simple chip, he doesn't play it simply. Like, he wants to pitch it off a bank and spin it back, and he's just such a skilled golfer. But I think he gets bored playing normal golf.
That sounds like someone who can shoot 62 or 82.
Correct. I don't think he shoots many 82s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wesley Bryant was fantastic. Again, he won at Harbour Town maybe about 4 or 5 years ago
I think
now.
it was a few years ago.
His brother, George Bryant,
He's been on this very podcast.
who is arguably better
I
at
can't
golf.
believe
I know.
you.
And I didn't believe it. And I think as watching the two of them play golf, George is a lot more calculated, a lot more conscious and precise. He plays the simple golf shot. And I think most of the time, I think George would beat Wes.
Imagine
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And if you've got two brothers and one of them can say, and it's 2017, he won at the Heritage.
That's quite a while ago, 7 years ago.
I've won a PJ Tour event. What is your response? Even if you, sorry, I'm Wes, you're George. You beat me 10-8. Okay, you beat me 10-8. I've got a PJ Tour event win.
You can't ever win.
You can't win. You can't beat me.
How George isn't more successful than Wesley, I'm not sure. It's just that George doesn't have that compared to Wesley. Like I was saying, Wes just has that kind of fearless attitude.
Yeah.
And I can imagine he getting 4 or 5 under and just going, okay, I'm going to shoot 59 today. Where George, he'll probably shoot a 66, a 66, a 66, a 66, where Wes will shoot a 61, a 72, a 61.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. If you are, a PJ Tour player who's not one of the household names and you want to win an event on the PJ Tour, think of the names you've got to play better than that week.
And it's a major event.
Yeah.
The Heritage. Like, it's at Harbour Town. It's arguably one of the toughest golf courses. He was known as kind of a trick shot artist growing up. Him and his brother, obviously, we had George on the podcast. Was it last year, maybe?
It was a while ago now.
And so, yeah, they were, and we were playing at their home golf course. So they're in South Carolina, and there was a golf course. What was it called, lads, before? Something Ridge? Indian Rivers. It's a golf course in South Carolina, just outside Columbia, and it was a bit of a derelict golf course.
This is where they played at, was it? Or?
This is where they play, and they're kind of is their home as such now. And it was a bit of a nothing golf course, like where did we film at a few weeks ago? Pennington Flash.
Yes.
I think it had that type of vibe to it.
Not quite that level.
Might not have been Pennington Flash, but it had those type of vibes.
Okay.
A very successful businessman by the name of Greg saw an opportunity to do something with it, as did George and Wes. And they came together and they have pumped in $20 million into this golf course. It's spectacular.
This might be a really silly question. In the world of golf courses, is 20 million still a lot?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It sounds a lot.
I know.
I have no idea how much that would cost.
One particular hole cost $1 million on its own. They had to do that much work on it. Wow. Now, I don't know what it looked like before. I think they followed the journey a little bit on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've not actually watched it yet, but I've seen a lot of that.
And it did look horrendous. The golf course before looked, I think it might have even been derelict, right? You look at it now and certain angles, certain parts of the golf course, and I said it on video, it's only an hour from Augusta National. It looks like Augusta National.
That's a bold statement.
I know.
Is it a good golf course then overall?
It's a really good golf course. It's hard. It's tight. The greens are electrically fast, if that's even a way of describing a green.
Yeah.
It's like putting on this on our table here at this podcast studio, but with about 15 different breaks and everything else. They're unbelievable, and you would love a few touches.
Come on, hit me.
A few little touches. Every inside of the hole is painted white.
Perfect.
Okay. Very simple yellow flags. Just simple. The tee markers, there's a water tower on the 6th hole.
Oh, they've not got water tower tees, have they?
Yeah, little water tower tees. You get to first tee, you can grab some tee pegs, pitchfork.
Ball washers?
I don't know if I saw any. That doesn't mean there isn't any. I'm not a person who likes to wash my balls.
No.
I like to normally spit on them and rub them on a towel. Does not everyone do that? So I don't recall seeing ball washers.
Okay, I can live if there's not, but...
However, get this, okay? Everything's really locally placed. You drive into the car park. How quick... we might have got VIP treatment. I get that. But by the time we'd park the car and put it in handbrake mode, there was a golf cart parked up behind our car. Ready
for your sticks.
It was so quick. So we put our clubs on and everything's really easy to get to. The driving range is right next to the car park. The clubhouse is there.
What's the clubhouse like?
It's nice. It will get better.
Okay.
Food was brilliant. Ben, however, had a little ketchup incident where the waitress slipped and squirted ketchup all over him. Over his white shorts.
Is this something from a comedy sketch?
It was horrendous. Matt had just nipped to the restrooms, and it was his food. So I was sat on the end of the table. Matt was sat next to me. Ben was sat next to him. The waitress came along and said, "Oh, was it a cheese
dog
grilled cheese sandwich?" Right?
Of course it was.
And the food was amazing. Honestly, really, really good. I'll come on to my food in a minute. And the waitress said, "Grilled cheese sandwich." I was, "Yeah, it's Matt's." So I pointed to the seat in between me and Ben. Okay. So the waitress then leant over Ben to put it down onto Matt's place. But on the plate, I love, was a pre-poured,
pre-squeezed,
decent sized amount of ketchup in a little tub. Okay. And as she starts to lean over, the ketchup, it was almost like it happened in slow motion, just slipped off the plate.
Of course.
And it hit the table, the white tablecloth. It splattered the tablecloth like someone had just been murdered viciously. And the backlash of that ketchup spill also splattered onto Ben's, our cameraman who was with Ed and Matt as well, onto his white/beige shorts.
Did Ben get aggressive?
No, he's Australian. I was a bit fuming. So
was she embarrassed?
She was very embarrassed. And we said, "Oh, can we get some compensation? This, that, and the other." I wanted them to get new shorts. They didn't sell shorts in the pro shop, which I found weird. Because he had to film that afternoon, right? So
ketchup
massive
shorts.
Ketchup, like on his, it couldn't wash out. And they said, "We'll knock 50% off." Oh, it's really nice. What I found out later, they knocked 50% off his meal.
Oh no!
Not the whole tab, off his meal. Off his £7.
And what did the Bryan Bros say about this? Did they know?
This is the first time they're hearing about it.
Okay. Well, so far you've got this.
Sorry, but
you've got this week that you've said isn't a great week. We've got the Bryan Bros, who are, you're right, amazing golfers, great content creators. You've got this amazing golf course.
Oh, let me finish. You walk onto the driving range. Okay, and they had these cylinder-shaped shank bags with golf balls in them. Pro V1s. Brand new, every single one of them. And you're hitting off the most incredible turf. Pro V1s, every golf ball in the driving range.
That is elite.
It was, honestly, I think that's the worst that golf course is ever going to be. And already it's an 8 out of 10.
Wow. So are they going to do loads of content there, I take it?
They've basically said it's anybody who makes YouTube content, it's their home.
Wow.
So if we needed a golf course in America and to film at, it's your home. They had it that good. So, because quite a lot of times we played in the 6 ball. I'll come on to the full 6 people in a minute. And most people will know because they've seen pictures. But every golfer that got teed off after us got told if they get close to us, just to skip that hole and go on to the next.
That's fair.
So, because we were obviously going to be slow. So it was me, Wes, George, Grant Horvat.
Yes.
The man himself. Obviously, we've had Grant on the podcast before. Doing really well with his channel. Silky swing, really nice guy to spend time with. And Peter Finch. I feel like I spent a lot of time with Peter Finch recently, and that was really nice to spend a bit of time with him in the USA rather than being freezing cold here in Scotland or UK when we last filmed with him. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Fat Perez from Bob the Sports.
What a lineup.
So it was a real mixture of characters, a real mix in golfing abilities. A couple of videos have already dropped from that week already. We filmed some absolute bangers, including our first ever Rick Shiels major tournament took place.
I've heard exciting things about this.
It's really exciting. And I think everybody listening and watching, I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of something. The first match against Grant, I didn't play brilliant. After that, I think you'll be really proud of your boy.
I've heard on the grapevine.
I think you'll be really, really proud of your boy. In that lineup, I think I am possibly the least favourable person to do well that week. Let me just say.
Matt said you got 3 pars in a row.
I did. I got 3 pars. I got a scramble 3 par.
And he said that you chipped from the side of the green and you hit the green. So
well, there was one funny moment. I won't spoil it. There was a time where I had to chip and hit the green.
Yeah.
And something spectacular took place.
Okay.
So it honestly, really, really good. I think the whole lineup's gonna be amazing. There was no hole-in-ones, but there was bloody near hole-in-ones. Honestly, the amount of amazing shots that were hit. I think the vibes are immaculate. The golf was fantastic. Some good, some bad, some ugly. But it's going to make for really, really entertaining content for the next couple of months.
I'm very much looking forward to that. From what you've said, obviously kind of on podcast just now and off, it sounds like a great week. But speaking of near hole-in-ones, a video that went live on Friday just gone and that thankfully is doing really well on views. So thank you to everybody who's watched it and commented, etc. so far. We had your friend and mine, Richard Shiels, versus also your friend and mine, certainly my friend now, England captain, Bayern Munich striker, and even though he's not retired yet, and hopefully won't retire for a long time, he is an official England legend, Harold Kane. Played on the channel, and he very nearly got a hole-in-one.
It did.
Very nearly got a hole-in-one. That's actually made it onto Sky Sports News and all sorts, that clip now, and
did it actually get on Sky Sports?
Yeah.
I didn't know it had actually
it's gone
been
to
on.
Sky Sports News. It's been everywhere. And it's gone down really, really well. It was a bit of a different video. So those who haven't seen it, we do encourage you to go and watch it. It's an hour long. It's you playing golf with Harry Kane in a scramble over the 9 holes, which is kind of, as you'd expect, that's a really cool format. But what's a bit different is there's so much more kind of dialogue and chit-chat about his football career, his love for golf. And it's a really, really good video.
It was 2 best mates.
Yeah, close mates.
Out on a golf course, chatting everything about, our love for football and for golf, really.
You know what, though?
Minute, sorry. Don't let me forget to tell you about my new sporting addiction.
Badminton.
Shut up.
Is it?
Don't guess, no.
Oh, right, okay.
But don't guess. We're going to come on to that.
Rubik's Cube.
I have become addicted to a sport, a new sport I've never played before. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll come on to it later on. Don't guess it. We'll come on to it in a bit.
But what's strange, though, and they don't like to highlight this too much, but thankfully, the massive array of comments on the video were phenomenal. Some people, I don't think they quite, maybe it's US people who didn't quite realise who Harry Kane is. Like, I just want to see you playing golf. And it's like, no, this is an amazing chance to hear more about one of the greatest sporting personalities in the country, in England, and his love for the game that we all love. And an insight he gave was how much these guys who are playing football professionally actually love golf, love YouTube golf, and I think all of them want to get better at golf.
I want to read the top comment.
Go on then.
Okay. This is from Doggo Ronnie 3387. Okay. I have to give you credit, Rick. I really think you nailed the interviewing side of this video. You did your research, made it conversational, and asked a lot of thoughtful questions. High quality content. I didn't do a single bit of research. I didn't have a clue what I was going to ask. It was, and I think that hopefully that comes like, it's very much conversation. I'm just very interested in somebody who has reached the peak of their sporting ability, and it won't be too long until he's picking up a lot of silverware with his huge move to Bayern Munich, and hopefully picking up silverware with England at the next World Cup. But just to be able to, in that presence, talk about, one, the genuine the love of golf that we both have, but also the fact of what it's like to be at the top of his sport. And we had a great podcast episode with him. And again, we had a few questions that we wanted to ask him, but it's a very natural conversation. And I think because of that natural style of conversation, I think you get the best out of these individuals.
And that's what we've said this before about golf, and it still fascinates me that if you said to me now, there's a person outside, you've got to drive them, guy, to Edinburgh. It's going to be a 4-hour drive with a random bloke called John. I'd get in the car and think, what on earth am I going to speak to John about for 4 hours? This is I'm nervous. I don't like this. Put me on the first tee with the same guy, John, and say, go and play 18 holes together. It's easy. You're chatting about, obviously, the golf, and it's a great way to have conversations. I think that's why in that setting where you obviously are so comfortable, as is Harry Kane, you do end up, probably why he didn't need to do too much research, because the conversation just flows. He obviously felt super comfortable. I think that is why so many people, certainly being stereotypical, but blokes in particular who might not always feel comfortable talking or sharing things, you get them on the golf course for 4 hours and people just chat away, don't they?
Yeah, there's loads of amazing comments on this video. There really is. So thank you so much. Brilliant. I think just to pick up on a couple of things, people said there was maybe too much talking. That was the style of the video. Like it was meant to be a talking video. It was meant to be kind of, golf is the backbone of the video, and there's this narrative of what can we shoot as a Stableford pair, but really it is a conversational piece, like I did with Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest man, like we hopefully doing with more guests moving forward. So yeah, really good work on the video. Harry and his team were fantastic to work with. There was an awful lot of questions about the venue.
Yes, we couldn't say.
An awful lot of questions about the venue. A lot of people have guessed where the venue was. And just to clear things up, we had been given and granted permission to film a very private golf course. And with that permission, they wanted to stay unnamed. We totally respected that request. So there was a reason why we didn't name the golf course. It's spectacular, and I would definitely love to play there again and film there again. And it's probably a golf course that most people had never even heard of it, if I'm dead honest with you. So we didn't mention it in the video. It's a phenomenal place. I would love to play there more often. I would love to be a member there. It's the type of place I would love to be a member. But it's super, super duper exclusive and private.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So far in this kind of series, quote unquote, we've had two guests. I've said Harry Kane, who's one of the best footballers on the planet right now. I think that certainly strikers has to be, top 3 or whatever. You've also filmed this concept with the world's strongest man, Tom Stoltman. I think currently 3 times world's strongest man. Out of those 2 people, who are you, Rick Shiels, closest to in the chosen category? So, for example, are you close to Harry Kane in terms of football ability or the world's strongest man?
I would... Wow. Jesus. The one thing that I don't think we ever showed on video, do you remember? I actually could pick up the golf buggy.
You did? Yeah. You've also got a decent left foot.
And I can also score a penalty.
I would have to say...
I'm going to let you decide.
I'd say football.
Thanks.
I think you're close to Harry Kane. What do you think, Matt and Ed?
Definitely.
I don't know. I actually think he has the chance of being super strong.
I could do. I like eating.
Right, let's just...
I like eating a lot.
Let's just pitch the scene though, right? It gets to England. We managed to get to the World Cup final, okay, in America. Harry Kane's injured, Rick's in the crowd. It's like, right, we need to get somebody on. You have to go on for the last 5 minutes.
Harry Kane said to the manager, I actually heard Rick Shiels is pretty good.
That's your man. comes to the end of the game and Phil Foden gets tackled, well, actually fouled in the box, and you still up take a penalty. You could score that penalty. Now, you might miss it, obviously, but you've got the ability to kick that ball in the net, beat the keeper in front of 70,000 people, over 100,000 people. If Tom Stoltman was in the World's Strongest Man final and he got injured on the Atlas Stones, says, sorry, I can't carry on. My mate Rick will do them for me. You're not picking it up. So by that logic, you're better at football.
I'd be more surprised to see Rick in the World Cup final than at a strongman concert.
Would you?
Yeah.
The other thing is,
on TV.
I'd feel in myself walking onto a football pitch with all of these professional footballers. I'd feel like the Michelin Man.
Right, okay.
I feel like Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, okay.
Running onto the pitch. Probably don't have a football shirt in my size available in the locker room. And I'd stand there and go, oh my God. I do agree though. I've got as good a chance as most to score a penalty. Mm-hmm. Can't be that hard, can it?
Well, no, it's easy.
If I was walking onto the world's strongman,
well, then you're a dweeb.
I mean, I'd feel, I don't know though, I'd feel pretty good about myself.
Would you?
Yeah.
6'5", 25 stone giants.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, physically, I'd feel like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty fresh.
Okay,
Like,
well,
What about you, Guy?
I think you'd have to go
Your
strong, man.
football is a little bit different.
And that's not because I'm strong.
I think you've only got one option.
My football is horrendous.
Would you like to talk about my new sporting addiction?
Well, I would, because you've had many addictions in your lifetime when it comes to sports, and these very short-lived fandoms where you become the world's biggest fan of a sport for a week or two.
This is different.
This is different,
I'm
I'm
feeling something very different.
Genuinely, and this isn't me lying, I have no idea what this is.
Well, if you've been recently logged into my YouTube and checked out my last 24 hours of history, which do not do right now,
Okay, I won't.
You will get a clear indication of what my new passion is.
Bikini holes.
You got me. It's a sport, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I've been into quite a few sports.
Okay, yeah.
Badminton.
Correct. Yes.
Darts.
Yes,
for a
darts.
while. Football for a short period of time.
Yeah. You liked golf for a while.
Every now and again. There's a new sport that I got invited to play to last night by a previous podcast guest.
Okay, I've got an idea. I won't ruin it.
So I got a text off your friend of mine, Dan Webster.
You were going to say Dan Webster.
So he'd been on the podcast quite a few years ago now through COVID.
Yeah.
Because he was the head professional at St Anne's Old Links in St Anne's for 30 years. And he's now not doing that. He's concentrating on his driving range at the Lytham Golf Academy. He texted me last night saying, hey, Rick, would you like to come and play?
I know what it's going to be. Go on.
Paddle. And I went, yes. I didn't hesitate for 1 second because everybody that I know, most people, seem to be taking up paddle. It's the fastest growing sport. I don't know if it's the fastest growing sport in the world, but it is in the UK. They can't build courts quick enough.
Wow.
There's a paddle centre near me. It's full every minute of every single day. And I've looked at it and gone, that looks like fun. Now, I've never really been a racket sport person. Yeah, I played a bit of badminton and went semi-pro, obviously. Yeah. But I've not really been a racket. I've never played tennis growing up. Genuinely not played tennis. I played a little bit of bloody ping pong, table tennis, but nothing much. You would love paddle.
Is it good?
It's bloody amazing.
So it's like a squash court-ish?
It's like a squash court. I believe it's the same size as a badminton court.
Right.
No, it's not. That's a total lie. It's not. That's pickleball. Is the same size.
What's the difference?
Pickleball is. I'll come on to that in a minute. Okay. Paddle. You play it with what looks to me like a tennis ball. Okay. Apparently, it's got a different compression, which I can't tell. Genuinely, I couldn't tell. Use a racket, which has a strap that goes around your wrist, and you hold
Interesting.
it. And it's kind of like a plastic racket with holes in.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Almost like a kid's tennis racket. You're in a glass cube. But what I didn't realise, you've got glass and mesh.
Ah.
So you can hit the glass, but on certain shots you can't hit the mesh.
Right.
Which is interesting. It's really fast-paced. It's really easy to pick up. It's not about power. Like, you can't overpower it, really. It's about strategy and putting it in the right place.
Suppose if you did hit it hard, it'd then bounce back more, which is maybe easier for the people.
Exactly. Like, there's a certain amount of power that you need to get. And I think that's why mixed paddle has become really popular as well. honestly, it's amazing. I would love to take you to it.
I would love
go
to
and play
play.
paddle. I think we used to play five-a-side on a Monday.
Yeah.
And we got quite a few broken wrists.
Yeah, and I was very good.
Can't jeopardise. I think we could potentially do paddle in the future. Have you ever played, Matt and Ed?
I think I could have been the inventor of paddle. I was that early to the trend.
Wow. Okay. Well, it was.
How's it sport? How do you score? What points wise?
Very similar to tennis.
Right.
So 15 love,
Yeah,
30
30
love, 40 love. You get to 40 and then it's just a break point. It's not, it's just whoever wins that next point wins.
Right.
It's sets of 6 and a normal game is whoever wins 2 sets.
Okay.
It's all underarm serving as well, so you don't have to stress yourself on getting it in the court.
We did an hour last night. I reckon I burnt maybe, on my watch it said like 400 odd calories. It's not like I finished and I wasn't dripping with sweat.
But it was a nice
I'd
workout.
done a really nice workout.
Have you bought a racket yet?
So I looked on Amazon, right?
Of course you did.
I looked on. First off, I watched loads of paddle videos on YouTube and
Reviews,
highlights. Some of the highlights are incredible because what you can do in paddle, you can hit it. Professionals can hit it really, really hard where it bounces in the right spot, but can almost bounce out of the court.
What?
And the other person has to almost run around and hit it.
So they can get
you
it.
can actually go outside
What?
of the square. It's amazing. It's very rare that takes place, but there's some amazing shots that take place. I looked online last night on Amazon at paddle rackets, right? And you can get them anywhere from 30 quid. What do you think is the most expensive paddle racket I could find yesterday?
I could say a number, but I reckon you found one that's 300 quid.
£530.
So that's what you bought? Got 2 of them. What brands? We're
I've got
talking Slazzingers?
a right-handed and left-handed one. Adidas make quite a lot of them. Head.
Oh, yeah, Head, of course, yeah.
Are quite popular. Wilson.
Yeah, all you.
Yonex.
Yeah.
What other ones are they? So Adidas, I think I just said. So it's honestly, I absolutely loved it. I think it's a sport that I'm going to continue to play. Maybe
when you play next, then have you already booked?
Well, he's invited me Wednesday, which I can't do. He's invited me Friday, which I might be able to do. Dan, he only started 2 weeks ago. He's played almost every single day he's played, and he's just recruiting as many people as possible. We played last night. Dan has played for about 2 weeks. Another guy has played for a couple of weeks, and then each one of them brought a newbie.
Right.
So I was Dan's newbie, and the other but we picked it up honestly so quick.
Are you better than Dan?
No, Dan was pretty good actually.
You need to download Playtomic.
I have.
Okay. Because you can get a handicap.
Oh,
and
really?
then you play against people with like similar ability.
Wow. I think it's
Honestly,
always
it's
fun when
really
you try a new sport because you can bring it back to golf or other people. Imagine you yesterday played paddle for the first time. People played golf for the first time yesterday. It's like, go on,
Tell you what, I did really fun. I didn't mean to do it. It just almost happened automatically. Like where these paddle courts are, there's quite a few of them. There's like 4 or 5 around, right? And there's no roof on these paddle courts. It's outside, but it's floodlit. And one of my first shots, I was kind of messing about and I was like trying to get the gauge and I hit it a bit too hard. And it went out of our paddle court into someone else's paddle court.
Oh, no.
Instantly, I shouted 4. Like instantly, like loud as well. And I thought to myself,
did it work? Did they duck?
No, did they have a clue what was happening? They thought, I don't know what they thought, but I literally just instinctively shouted 4. But it's honestly, it's really good.
Wow.
I think you'd love it.
I've heard everyone who I know who's played it has came back saying it's amazing.
There's not a lot of courts though.
No.
They can't build them quick enough. Genuinely, at the moment, they cannot build.
Office, we'd have it in the office.
It's honestly so pickle. Going back to
pickle ball.
Totally different. Badminton size court.
Right.
I think it's a lower net. It's what's called a wiffle ball.
Oh, I'm out already.
So it's the same size as a tennis ball, but it's like it might be a bit bigger, but it's got holes in. Do you remember the old golf balls that you'd hit?
Yeah, the
around
air
the
balls.
house?
Yeah,
air balls. It's like one of them. The racket is like more of a rectangular shape. I don't know how the points work.
Do you paddle players look down at pickleball and kind of spit on
I
it a
think
little
now,
bit?
now that I'm an established paddle player,
It's for the amateurs, really, isn't it? It's big.
pickle's massive in America.
Yeah.
But I don't know if paddle's big in America. I think it's very European.
You're paddle
thing.
through and through. I've always said that.
I'm born paddle. Well, do you remember, I don't know if you were with me at the time. Do you remember when we went to Top Golf in Dubai? Didn't
Yeah,
we?
they had all the paddle courts.
Do you remember?
Yeah, because Olivia Jackson was playing.
Yeah, there was loads of those paddle courts. So
You'll find out now that's at the Mecca, and you'll be like, I've been there, but I didn't know at the time that was the Mecca of paddle.
I'm going to buy a racket and I'm going to get into it.
What kind of? Are you going
for how
for
long?
stiff flex?
Who knows? for how long, but honestly, I really, really enjoyed
Well,
it.
that's good. I'm excited to try it out one day, and I'm sure by then you'll be really skilled, so you'll embarrass me.
I want to take you while it's still new to me.
Yeah, okay.
And you can do 1 versus 1. It's quite rare you do that. There's not
Normally
many-
doubles.
Normally doubles. But
Exciting stuff.
Really good. So I reckon you and me versus Ed and Matt.
Done. We'll beat them.
You can
on.
Them punks.
The old
You
category.
don't want this smoke.
Have you played Matt?
No, I've not. But
Matt would either be amazing or rubbish.
I'm good racket skills.
Have you? Yeah. To be decided. We have had a number of good emails. Thank you so much to everyone who has emailed us. It's podcast@rickshiels.com. They are coming through thick and fast. And
Any questions about paddle at all? Or?
no, next week bring us your paddle questions, because Rick has played 1 game of paddle so far. Maybe by the time people listen to this, he'll play 2. Who knows? So this is from, I won't name the name, but a guy who is talking about, when we mentioned the other week, the golf cheats and, could you even film golf cheats, etc. This person who I won't name said, you discussed, would it be possible to set up a camera to catch cheaters out? We had a similar issue at my club in Ireland. There were suspicion around a certain individual, and by chance, another member's house is built on the side of the 6th fairway overlooking the green. The member who owned the house happened to be reviewing his CCTV, sounds very fishy, happened to be reviewing his CCTV, and said that said individual was playing the 6, during a competition. The CCTV showed the player getting to the green before their playing partners, lifting the golf ball up, put it in the pocket, and throwing his ball marker down closer to the hole. Quite a good little trick, that. Get to the green before your playing partners, pick up your ball, pocket it, lash your coin down closer. That's where your ball finished. However, this was caught on CCTV, and we handed it into the golf club, and the person was excluded from the golf club as a result. So there you go. If you are going to cheat, be aware of any local CCTV.
Maybe we could be the official podcast of giving tips to cheaters.
Oh, yeah, I like that. You know what, though? I've heard this before. I've heard many moons ago at my golf club where there's been sniffings of cheaters before. There was one bloke who I won't mention, and thankfully I can't remember his name. However...
That's why you won't mention it.
Yeah. However, he used to play in the midweek comp on a Wednesday with some seniors, and there's one hole, the 7th hole, uphill dogleg to the right, and he'd often hit his second shot onto the green and walk up there well before they could. Quite hilly, so they would be out of breath, taking the time. He'd get up there really quickly and do exactly this. Apparently people had seen him. He'd pick up his ball quickly and just launch his ball marker closer. His playing partners were none the wiser. Wow. So that's a free cheating tip for anyone that wants it.
There's a question here. Interestingly, I read the question but didn't read who it's from. And I'm like, oh, he's got the same name as someone we know. And it's actually that person.
No way.
Right? So this is the question. I'll come on to who it is in a minute. Is it time to ban aim point? Okay. No more time wasting, stomping around, straddling the line of a putt. Okay. And there's quite a few people who replied to that. Kind of.
Back and yes and no's.
Yeah. I would say it's swaying slightly into more towards negative than positive.
Give me a 15-second breakdown of aim point for people listening who don't quite understand it.
Aim point is a method of reading the green by using your feet rather than your eyes. Okay. And I've used it on and off genuinely for about 10 years plus. In fact, more than that. I very first did an aim point session. God, I reckon it was 13 years ago.
I think you would use what I would call diet aim point 0. So it's kind of like you're not the full fat version.
The real aim point that I learned years ago, that was time consuming. You used to have a little book. You'd have to find out the low point, the high point. You'd have to figure out where you are on this kind of 360 degree diagram. It was very, very time consuming. So I get that. Over the last few years, they've introduced Aim Point Express, which is a much faster method of it now. I use Aim Point, but I don't particularly use the fingers.
Straight to the hole.
So basically, when you read the putt with your feet, you are determining the degree of slope that you stood on, whether it's 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, etc. And if you're a 1 degree, you then put one finger up, and that's where you aim. Compared to, like, you have the left side of the finger on the hole, the right side of the finger is where you aim. If it's a 2 degree slope, you do 2 fingers, 3 degree slope, etc. I've played with a lot of people who use it now. It doesn't offend me. I use it. I don't particularly do the fingers. I will straddle the line and learn the putts. I think it dramatically improved my green reading ability. I think I'm a much better green reader now, and therefore have become the greatest putter in the world, which you'll see from the videos coming out soon. Genuinely best putter in the world. So I won't be stopping doing it for anybody, even if it gets banned. I will go to a
You'll cheat
remote island.
You'll cheat. If you have to cheat, you will cheat.
If I've got to aim point, I will aim point.
And who was the correspondent?
Really not who I expected.
Come on.
Okay. So the name is Robin Heisman.
Oh, it is Robin Heisman.
And I thought, oh, no way. That's the golf architect who designed JCB, who we've had on the podcast.
Yeah,
and I thought,
very nice bloke.
How weird is that? What a coincidence. And it's not a picture of him. It's a picture of a robin, a red robin. Oh, yeah, it's called Robin.
Oh, my God. You were thinking for a minute, why on earth has Robin Heisman got a robin as his picture, and you've only just, after about 5 minutes, twigged?
I was looking at it going, quite festive. Robin Heisman from European Golf Design.
Wow.
So someone who designs golf courses with very interesting, hard to read greens.
Maybe he perceives it as cheating.
Maybe he does.
You got to use your eyes to understand the green.
So yeah, it's quite 50-50. There's a lot of people. It's funny. People who don't do it and don't understand it totally disagree with it. People who do the method and agree with it, obviously, are saying it's a really good method.
You know, go on, sorry.
I personally think it's quicker.
You know what, though? I think probably you're in the same boat as me. I feel sometimes these questions now in a little bit underqualified to answer them because I have many opinions on these things. But actually, imagine if me and you or whatever were actual members of a golf club, paying members, and we're playing on a Saturday comp at 11:30, our preferred tee time. We get to the third hole, and in front of us is Barry, who is off 25, nice bloke, whatever, and he's doing aim point in every green. And we get to the third green, and suddenly he's taking 5 minutes over a putt, and you can see him doing all this business with his fingers and larking around the green. Would that then maybe change your perception of aim point because of how he's doing it?
Yes.
That might be the issue some of these people are having, you see. No one would want to ban it, I wouldn't imagine, if it was making golf quicker, because they'd be like, yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's definitely, I know a few individuals who, I won't mention names, who will laser a flag. Mm-hmm. They'll GPS watch it. They'll have a bloody yardstick working it out. They'll have a wind barometer, and that slows up play. I get that. And then they'll get to the green, and they've already had 15 shots to get to the green, and then they're starting to aim point and getting the book out, and I get that. It's hard, isn't it?
But then if it makes you hole more putts, surely that's got to be quicker.
It has, but as long as people are doing it quickly.
Yeah, fair dues. Have you got another question for me? Or for us?
For us. Philip Noons, what are some can't miss courses in the UK for someone on vacation?
Oh, wow.
Now, you've obviously got your standard ones. Like, if you're coming over here to the UK and it might be your only visit, because a lot of people it's only visit. Sorry.
Read another one.
Read another question. Then, obviously, go and play St Andrews. Go and play Royal Birkdale.
Give me 5 biggies, 5 little, and we'll work on the 5 other ones.
If I was coming over from the US and I had 1 week in the UK... And
UK's small, so you can travel.
And I'd say, go and play St Andrews. Go and play... I'd have to say Turnberry. I know it's expensive, but I think it's incredible. If you're going to nip over to Ireland, go and play Royal County Down in Northern Ireland.
No, North Berwick.
If you got time, if you got a little 9-holer where you can't play 9 holes at Berwick.
Yeah, go on then. Okay, yeah, I like this list.
I would then throw in
the Berkey.
I think I'd throw in a Royal Birkdale.
Yeah,
and I'd also. It's not a political podcast, and I don't want this podcast to get suppressed. But I think Trump International in
Have you
Aberdeen.
got your MAGA hat on again today, Rick?
I think Trump International. I've obviously mentioned 2 Trump courses there, Turnberry and International, but they're bloody amazing golf courses.
What about 5 then? Maybe we could strum up that are a bit more attainable, maybe not as expensive, like under the radar, but still really good.
Wallasey.
Yes.
Crail.
Yes.
I will throw in North Berwick into that mix. I don't know the price of it, but It might be expensive.
Yeah. North Berwick's kind of course where if you were American and you go back to America, your playing partners might never have heard of it, but some might go, oh, great course. They've all heard of Birkdale.
Prestwick.
Lovely.
Did I say Wallasey?
You've said Wallasey.
Wallasey again.
Dunsterbury, if you're looking for a real cheap but amazing one.
That's a real curveball, yeah. I like it.
Ticks a box, doesn't it?
Zach Todd. Okay. What happened to the title of this video?
Come on.
I thought we'd finish with this. Are the people taking the mick? And it must be taking the mick. Anyway, I'm not going to answer that.
I've got an email for you.
Well, I've answered it.
Right. This is a good one, so you need your full attention for this, Rick. Hi, guys. It's from John Atkinson. I've got somewhat of an absurd hypothetical question for you. And by the way, it is absurd. Is it absurd? Absurd. Sounds wrong. Absurd. Am I saying that right?
Absurd.
It sounds like it should be absurd, but it must be absurd. Ed's laughing. Is it absurd? Absurd. Yeah, he's put absurd. Anyway, we all know that Tiger Woods is one of, if not the greatest golfer of all time.
I like to say one of.
Yeah, if not the. It is the greatest golfer. Unless we're talking about him and Jack Nicklaus, then it gets sticky. Anyway, Tiger's ability is second to none, but the same could also be said about his golfing brain. Okay, so it gets a bit silly. Taking everything that Tiger Woods knows about golf, if it were possible to transplant Tiger's brain into a person who has never played golf in their life, would this new Tiger, let's call him Tiger Mark II, be able to achieve similar greatness in the game of golf? To give this person a sporting chance, they would need to be young, let's say early 20s, and a decent level of fitness. I eagerly await your response to this entirely plausible scenario. So just picture the scene, Rick. We've got Tiger Woods' brain.
Entirely plausible? Does that mean it's entirely possible?
Yeah, it was. I think that was said in jest. But let's just say we've got a 20-year-old guy. He's never played golf before. He's called Ian, okay? Still Ian's knocking about. 20-year-old Ian. He is 5'10", slim build, never played golf, relatively sporty. Suddenly wakes up tomorrow, bang, he's got Tiger Woods' brain. How good could Ian get at golf?
Don't know. He's never going to reach the heights of Tiger Woods.
He's not.
Because Tiger's sporting ability growing up was incredible. Like there's talks about him, he was really, really fast at 100-meter sprint. He was incredible at other sports, like really, really, really sporty. He had a
golf balls has hit since been 18 months.
He had a dad who was incredibly
strict, stern, pushy, you name it.
Like he had that family support system where mum was the kind of helped him with his education and made sure he had a plan moving out of golf, and again strict on that side, but then a father who very much kind of pushed him down the path of playing professional golf to the highest possible standard. So even now, could you even say that the closest to this scenario would be Charlie Woods?
Potentially, but hear me out. Ian's woke up today with Tiger Woods' brain. You spoke a few minutes ago about aim points and reading greens. This Ian has got Tiger Woods' brain. So even though he's never played golf, he looks at a putt and goes, yeah, that's 6 foot. It's going to break 2 cups to the right. Because it's Tiger Woods' brain.
Has he got Tiger Woods' knowledge to win? As in, like, is it Tiger Woods now?
It's everything Tiger Woods knows now put into a new person's body. So he's never hit a golf ball before, so even though he knows how to do it, he's not going to hit it like Tiger Woods because he's not built up those reps. But he knows how to hit a bung shot. He knows how to hit a cut. He knows everything. It's Tiger Woods' knowledge.
And he's not in pain?
No pain.
So he's not waking up in pain every day?
No, it's Ian's body. He wakes up and just sees Ian's body.
Have you seen the film Like Mike?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I've not seen
that
it, but
the Michael Jordan one?
Yeah.
Where the...
he gets the shoes.
And how did that go?
Yeah, he did really well.
Okay. I think Tiger Woods. Ian Woods.
Ian Woods?
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Good answer.
I genuinely think Charlie will be the closest we ever see of that scenario. Because surely Tiger's trying to offload all of that knowledge onto Charlie.
But does Charlie sometimes go, Dad, I'm not listening to you, my dad?
But is that not Ian?
No, because Ian is Tiger. Ian's not getting the advice of Tiger. Ian is Tiger. So it's basically Tiger wakes up and goes, right.
So basically, Tiger's in a new body.
Correct.
Is that a better way of thinking about it?
Either way, same thing. Tiger's in a new body, Ian's got a new brain.
Is Tiger Ian?
They're both the same. So Tiger, you could argue, you could imagine, right? Ian wakes up in his house in Dorset, 20 years old, wakes up, he goes, wow, I've got this brain I didn't know I had. But then you could equally look at Tiger wakes up in Florida and gets out of bed and goes, wait a minute, I'm Ian. I'm a skinny 20-year-old kid. That doesn't look the same as it used to look. A bit smaller, a bit bigger, whichever, I don't know.
So, obviously talking about feet size.
Yeah, correct.
What See, if it was the scenario where Tiger right now, okay, wakes up in a new body, but he wakes up in his house, his bed, everything's the same. I think then Tiger is going to get better at golf.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if Tiger,
they're better than he is now. No,
I think he makes a comeback. I think he wins. I think he wins more majors.
He does, but this body's never hit a golf.
Doesn't matter. I think if Ian, in his house in Dorset, random place, woke up and it was Tiger would look around and go, oh, great. All right, where do I practice? Where do I hit balls?
Yeah, true.
Like, as in, like, the scenario, the scene is different. Where if it was Tiger waking up in a new body in America with all the practice facilities, everything he's got to his disposal, I think he makes it, because he'll hit the gym hard.
With that being said, then Tiger wakes up in Ian's body, wakes up in his mansion, gets into the garden. He's got a driving range there. Picks up a 7-iron. Bearing in mind, Ian's body has never swung a golf club before, but Tiger's brain's done it millions of times. How does that first golf shot go? Is it hit
Flushed.
well or is it missed? Would it be flushed? Because I think Tiger wouldn't be used to it, would he? Tiger's normally looking at these big biceps. He's got Ian's little weedy guns. Does it work? It might take a few to go, okay, I feel this now. I see where I'm at.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't rip the first
It's
one.
almost Tiger giving himself a lesson.
He'd be good at putting, surely. I'd get the old Scotty Cameron out.
Yeah. Just knows how to grip it instantly.
Because how many majors he won with that particular Scotty? Is it 13?
Has he not won them all?
No, there's 2 that he didn't win.
He's a Nike one with.
Yeah. So, like, does he then come back? Because he's won 15 majors, hasn't he,
Correct.
Tiger? So it's 13 he's won with that Scotty Cameron. Like, that Scotty Cameron's in like hopefully it's in some sort of safe. And Ian Woods, Tiger in a new body, comes and just like lifts that putter up, and it's like birds start tweeting, the money starts twinkling. Not like the money.
But hear me out though.
And it goes and just holes every
So
putt.
we spoke before about the strongman. This might make it even easier to think, well, harder or easier to get your head around. Imagine if Tom Stoltman, the world's strongest man, woke up in Ian's body. So Ian again.
Yeah, I don't think that would work. Because I think genetics is so much about genetics.
True.
Where, like, if you put... Because world's strongest men, they've looked the same for a long time, haven't they?
Big.
Right? You line up every Masters winner over the last 20 years, and you got bloody Ian Woosnam in there.
Yeah. You got John Rahm in there.
That's what I mean. Totally different.
Chalk and cheese.
Totally different people.
Yeah.
Different builds, everything. But their abilities to play golf, their mental abilities to play golf.
So in answer then, back to the original question, how good would Ian get? Could Tiger to play golf?
Again, it
on
goes back to
tour?
the scenario.
Right,
He'd be
okay.
better than most.
Will Tiger play brilliant in a new body? Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Whether that's Ian, who knows?
Okay. One more question for you then.
Imagine Ian in Dorset.
There will be an Ian right now in Dorset waking up
Just
going,
going-
that's weird.
Dorset just going, I'm only going to hit some balls today.
Feeling good.
Question then, one more, a bit more of a serious one from Adam. And he says, hi guys, loving the podcast. Thank you very much. My question is about how expensive pro shops are. I recently celebrated my 30th birthday. Congratulations. As a treat, I wanted to buy myself a new electric trolley and golf bag. After a quick look online to get a rough price, I went to my pro shop, of which I'm a member of that golf course, to ask the pro to get me a price. I showed him the prices I've been getting online and was hoping for him to do me a better deal. But even if he could match it, I would be more than happy to spend my money with him rather than going online. He came back to me with a price that was £200 more than what I'd seen online. I understand they need to make money on the product they sell, but surely I'd just be better getting it off the internet. I've also been at this golf club for 2 years and never really bought anything from the pro shop. My last 2 clubs offered members a 10 to 15% discount. And after asking my golf club if they could do this discount, they don't do it. So wondering, should golf clubs offer discounts to members? So Rick, I was looking to question this for you because I can see both sides. From Adam, who's a member, is thinking, well, why should I go to my golf pro and pay more? You know, I've got to earn a crust. Why do I want to spend my money with a golf pro and pay more? But equally, the golf pro is thinking, how do I compete with American Golf, who's buying these trolleys in quantities of hundreds, if not thousands? I've got 3 in the pro shop.
Yeah, it's all economy of scales. Like, you look at how much product a huge retailer buys, they will get tremendous amount of discount.
Correct.
And if you're, a lot of times as well, if you look online, and this is a trick that online websites will use, is they might offer a club at a discount, okay, potentially making very little money on it. But you go in and you go on that website and you buy that club because you've seen it on offer. Straight away, they've got your data. Mm-hmm. That data's worth a lot of money. Therefore, then, once the next product comes out, they're going to email target you. They're going to make sure that your cookies are all turned on online. Like, that particular first sale might just be a little nibble to get your customer as a online retailer, and then they've got you then. Mm-hmm. Like, the pro shop can't do that. And, like, if it was a huge retail store, either here in the UK or in America, like, they are buying thousands and thousands and thousands of said product. Their cost price will be so much cheaper, won't it?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for pro shops to compete. Where pro shops can compete is the customer service. Mm-hmm. It's that personal touch. It's the really high class fitting. It's making sure that, once you've maybe had that product arrive, making sure you go onto the driving range, hit a few shots with it, they can tweak it and go, oh, yeah, you know what, I think we should add a little bit of loft to this now in hindsight. Like, that's how the pro shop wins. But it's challenging. As a golfer, if you got to save money. Like, that's just part of it, unfortunately. There is a lot more direct to consumer products out on in the market now.
I think that's right. And I think, we obviously thankfully have lots of pros who have pro shops who listen to this podcast. Some of them reach out, or some of them, when we go to golf courses and we go into the shop, say, listen to the podcast occasionally. So we obviously would love the PJ pros to do as well as they possibly can. But you're right, if you've got a golfer who wants to buy a new polo shirt and it's a Nike polo shirt, and on a website they can get it for 40 quid, in the pro shop it's 60 quid, and the pro won't budge, so then why are they going to buy it from the pro? Let's be honest.
I'm just on an online retailer now, and they're doing they're calling it Black November, up to 50% off. There's products here on the website that genuinely, I think they actually might be losing money on these products. Yeah. Just to get rid of it, or just to get your customers, get you clicking on the website, because they'll know a strategy. If you go and click a product and buy, like for example, right now you can buy an Aerojet driver for 200 quid. Okay, they're probably not buying it for much more than that, but you'll buy that Aerojet driver, £230 off apparently. You'll add it to your cart. Next, a pop-up will come. What about a dozen balls for 20 quid? Or what about a new glove? What about some tees? And that's how they make the money on top of it. It's very difficult to compete with these kind of monstrous online retail stores these days.
I think as well, to the point of the email, it comes down to what the product is. If you wanted an electric trolley, where although it can be quite complex process, once you've done a little bit of research online and found the one that you want to buy, it's quite easy to then go and buy it, isn't it? So you may as well go for where it's cheapest. But there is something quite romantic about if it is your 30th birthday and you wanted to actually fit for a set of irons, and it's something that you think you're going to have either for a long time, or actually because somebody might be helping you towards buying, they might be getting some money, you might think, I'm going to keep these forever because they were for my 30th. There's something about going for a fitting with your local pro, if they are a good pro, and lots of them out there really are, where you're getting good sound advice and you're getting great service, and that's something where I definitely would recommend seeing your pro. But ultimately, most people just want to get what's cheapest, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't blame them.
It's worrying when you said service then, my mind went straight to paddle.
Of course it did.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Do you live your life now feeling about paddling looking at this room, this would be a good court this today. This would be a good court.
I'm very much thinking about how do I set up paddle courts.
Yeah.
That they are cash machines at the moment.
Is it one of those things, do you think, that will continue to grow, which it might well do, and I can't wait to play it and understand it? Or is it one of those things that's going to be like a bit of a hype where we look back in 10 years and go, do you remember everyone just play paddle?
Yeah.
The latter.
Yeah, because squash went through that.
Not.
No, well, squash went through that era. Who do you know now plays squash?
The Danish.
And how many squash courts do you see at gyms that are dead?
Well, my gym, my David Lloyd gym's actually got rid of them now. It's put all the stuff in there.
I remember when I worked at Mia, we used to have squash courts. They used to just be used as storage rooms. Like, squash was huge and it died. Badminton was huge and it died. Golf was huge and then it...
Tiger Woods came and saved it. And then Rick
And then-
Shiels
and then-
came.
and then COVID.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Lots more to come. We'll see you in the Clubhouse episode where we will be talking more about paddle. Thanks, everyone. We're not really. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Are we doing it today or should we do it Friday?
I don't mind doing it whenever. I don't mind waiting a bit and getting some more vibe.
Should we do it Thursday?
The audience won't know when it's here. Make no difference to them.
Boys, are you available
That's
Thursday?
not here on Thursday.
Better.
Let's do it Thursday. Ed, we'll get you a chair. You can come and sit on.
All
come
the
and
big
sit-
boys. The big lads.
I wouldn't even be in frame there.
Well, that's the idea. Right, guys, it's just that we can look at someone. We don't even film the Clubhouse ones anymore, do we, anyway?
Yeah, we do.
I do it. Do we?
I'd sit on here for the first time when Matt's off. We'll get Ben as well. The lads. We'll have a paddle tournament in here.
All right, that's it. I'm handing him a resignation. Goodbye.
I think Matt would actually cancel his day off to come in.
You're not doing. You're only going to the zoo again.
Hey?
You're only going to the zoo again.
Yeah, come in.
Oh, that's Wednesday.
What's Thursday then?
Start the stag do.
Ooh, the
Stag do.
Lads, loads of beer.
Where you going on the stag do?
We're going go-karting.
Where you
So no drinking. Not till after.
Go karting's a sick stag do. I really like that.
Drinking after the
Well, that's
go-kart.
it. It controls the early.
Exactly. It's a
drinkers.
nice time as well. It's like a little 3 p.m. start.
Oh, and then it's on to the hard stuff afterwards.
Oh, that'd be good.
Do the clubhouse. I don't even care.
Okay, we'll see you on Friday.
Whatever.
Bye.